Thank you. Uh, Actually, I would like to share with you the experience as I stated, and I was to talk on the way forward for sustainability agri-wood certification. So, the first speaker has already talked about what you call FSC. But in brief, let me say what forest certification is a mechanism for forest monitoring, tracing, and labeling timber, wood and pulp products, and non-timber forest products. The quality of management from environment, social perspective is judged against a series of agreed standards. This is what certification looks into. The key to forest certification is the development of a system that combines.
आप पीपीटी
Hello?
अगर प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में कर लेंगे तो ज्यादा बड़ा दिखेगा सर.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Yeah. As we are talking about sustainable certification of palm wood, so we have also to look into the eternity of sustainability pertaining to agroforestry wood. So what this certification means is promote socially, environmentally, and economically responsible forest management. Safeguard biological diversity in managed forests, including high conservation value forest, etc., is meant for the natural forests and all that. Respect the ownership and land and use rights of the local communities and indigenous people to certain extent possible. I saw also in the chat a comment on this. Provide a forum for dialogue between different stakeholders and establishment framework for resolution of social conflicts or utilization of forest resources. Agro resource we can say about. To certain extent, all this may be applicable to the agro wood which we are talking to get certified. Ensure transparency of both forest management and forest products trade, and provide a market mechanism allowing companies and consumers to identify and purchase timber and non-forest timber forest products. This is in nutshell about the certification for agroforestry wood on sustainability. If we wish, we need to integrate some of these issues in that. One minute. So during the last decade, forest certification has become a significant market mechanism to promote responsible forest management. Today, there are many forest certification units which is talked about. Forest Stewardship Council came into being in 1992, and there was a lot of work. It is a good NGO, and things are talked about that. It's a voluntary certification scheme. Now, relevance of sustainability certification for agri-wood in India, I would like to have my own nostalgic memories on how we went ahead in for certification of agroforestry plantations in ITC. First, I came to know about FSC in 1999, which actually created a lot of influence on me because it talked about triple bottom line, which ITC also used to talk about environmental, societal, and economic triple bottom line, which has also 10 principles and criteria, which are 56 criteria, which are being talked about. So the principles are 10 principles are stated. I don't want to read it, but when the presentation is circulated, we need to look into those units, why these principles have been formed. And these principles need to be satisfied. And these principles, according to me, are totally oriented to sustainability issues, and therefore we also have to make some principles as a way forward. ITC has the FSC has made 10 principles. NCCF has made many other principles. So also many other things in agroforestry wood certification. We also have to narrow down on some principles. All may not be applicable for this scenario of agroforestry wood, according to me. So when I read all the FSC related literature, I was enthused to take forward the journey on FSC certification in ITC for farm forestry pulpwood plantations, which is a major raw material wood source for pulp and paper production. So in 2002, we had an innovation workshop, and we have hit a low bottom line in economic and profits and all that. So how to innovate and what are the new things to be done was thought about, and innovate and think out of the box. And FSC managed FSC principles. When I presented to the management, they said, go ahead, get ITC plantations certified by FSC. So these were the things. So as a step in 2002, first we invited Dr. King, who is a forester, UK forester, and working with Woodmark Soil Association, which is an accredited agency at that time. There were only 11 accredited agencies under FSC. So he came and studied our things, and he said that we are almost ready, but there are many gaps, which I will speak later, and they have to be done, to get the certification. So we have an age-old and well-out tree. Then what happened is I went to MOEF with a UNF representative and met the DG Forest, that time, the Inspector General of Forest, and we discussed that FSC can be brought to India for doing things, and MOEF should take a lead in this regard. So the response at that time in 2002 was that we have a hammer system to certify wood, and we do not require such kind of things. And when we said that this is a NGO, foreign body, and they were a little jittery on this issue that no third-party audit of our forest will be allowed during this policy of present policy. So this was the thing, and we just left our thought process there and came out. In 2005, I had an opportunity to present before the Grower Commission what policy changes we need to have. So I submitted to the Grower Commission that Indian Forest Stewardship Council be formed. As FSC certification was not going forward in my company, the pressure was building to have certification from Tetra Pak and others were to whom we were exporting to 34 countries, our paper and paper wood. At that time, we were submitting these views who were asking for the certification. We said that it is difficult to satisfy 10 principles and 56 criterions of FSC, and FSC certification may not be required to look into for agroforestry, that because the plantations are grown under farmland and not in forest areas, farmer is afraid that his farmland will get converted to forest and the government will take back his land. Idea is not to make plantation into natural forest. Monoculture and eucalyptus contributors were raging at that time, and FSC was not for monoculture type of plantations. Wood grown in farmland are eucalyptus, casuarina, subabul, and it is agri produce. We were thankful to that time Andhra Pradesh government who gave a circular that eucalyptus, casuarina, and subabul are agriculture produce and not a forest produce. That was a very good circular which we put before the body who were asking for certification. So then they said that we need to have some interim arrangement if you are not having FSC certification. Over the years, you can get the certificate. So interim arrangements were made So the UK forester was deputed to certify our plantations. So he went into plantations, visited our ITC plant, promoted plantations with the farmers, had a meeting, and then he concluded that these are the wood derived from plantation is legal and not coming from illegal sources. This was his certificate first, which we managed for 2 to 3 years. Then on the scenario, ISO 14,000 came. Only 9,000 was stopped in 2002, but ISO 14,000 came into being, and we started using this platform also to show to the world that we are doing sustainable harvest of plantations. Then we also called an FSC official who was a environmental chamber director, and and we put before our presentation and asked his help and guidance, and this helped to take forward the ITC's FSC sustainable certification of the wood. We also looked into Bhopal India process, but it was only criteria indicators, and there was no possibility of getting certification from this mechanism. So we also later had in the MOEF several meetings, and we all know that NCCF came into being at a later date with the blessings of PEFC. Now, then at the last stage, nothing was happening, so we called as a consultant from South African FSC expert, and we placed before him. So then he said that you are eligible for group certification. You have to do some things, and he gave us a list to do those things, and we finally succeeded doing that. In the meantime, we went to WWF India because FSC is also promoted by WWF, and therefore they advised us to become GFTN member. And we became the first member of GFTN in India, and that made us to understand the requirement very clearly from FSC angle, and we came into being. So similar way, during 2009 and 10, a lot of certifying bodies also came into India, like Rainforest Alliance, SCS, SGS, and many others, and the process started easier at that time. So we succeeded in 2012 getting FSC Forest Management certification for 12,000 hectares of palm forestry, and we were able to give the FSC pure wood to manufacture of pulp and paper for export.